The night was dark and heavy rain poured down from the sky. The streets were empty, except for one small figure running fast through the wet roads. Her clothes were old and torn and her feet were bare. Her name was Sarah. Sarah held something very close to her chest, a tiny baby wrapped in a thin, dirty cloth. The baby was weak, barely moving, and its small face was pale and cold. Sarah's heart beat fast. She knew she had to get help soon. Lightning flashed in the sky, and thunder roared. Sarah did not stop running. Her legs were tired, her body soaked with rain, but she did not care. She had only one thought: save the baby's life. Finally, she reached the big hospital at the edge of the city. The building was bright and full of people, but at this late hour, it was quiet. Sarah ran inside, her wet shoes slipping on the shiny floor. "Please, help! My baby is sick!" she cried, her voice shaking. A nurse saw her and quickly called the doctors. Sarah begged, "Please! He is so weak, he needs medicine. Please save him." The doctors came, looking worried. They carefully took the baby from Sarah's arms. As soon as they saw the baby's face, their eyes grew wide and their hands stopped moving. Sarah saw their reaction and felt a chill down her spine. Why did they freeze? What was wrong with her baby? One doctor whispered to another. Is this possible? The nurse looked scared. The hospital head doctor stepped forward, staring at the baby in disbelief. Sarah watched them closely. She felt scared, confused, and desperate. "Please, my baby is dying. Why are you stopping? Help me." But the doctors did not answer. They looked at each other, then back at the baby. Something about the baby's face shocked them deeply. Sarah did not understand. She only knew her baby was sick and needed help fast. Sarah's thoughts went back to the last few days, the hardest days of her life. She remembered how the baby was born in a small, dark room with no doctor. She remembered how the baby had cried so little, so weakly. She thought about her own life, poor, alone, and full of struggles. Sarah was just a girl, only 19 years old. She had no family to help her. She worked hard every day, begging for money or food. Now she had this baby and everything was harder. But she loved the baby more than anything. This tiny life was her only hope. She would do anything to keep him safe. Back in the hospital, the doctors were still silent. One young doctor finally spoke. "This baby, he looks like someone we know," she said quietly. Sarah's heart jumped. "What do you mean? Who do you know? Please tell me." The doctors looked at each other. Then the head doctor said, "There is a man, a very important man. His face, it looks like your baby's." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. She shook her head. "No, that can't be." The doctors did not say more. They moved quickly now, taking the baby to the emergency room. Sarah followed, still holding her wet clothes, still begging for answers. In the emergency room, the baby was put on a small bed. Machines beeped and lights flashed. The doctors worked fast, giving the baby medicine and checking his weak pulse. Sarah stood by, holding her hands tightly. She looked at the tiny face of her baby. She whispered, "Please live. Please don't leave me." Minutes passed like hours. The baby's chest moved slowly with each breath. Sarah prayed silently, hoping for a miracle. Suddenly, a nurse came to Sarah. She said, "We are doing everything we can. But your baby is very sick." Sarah nodded, not able to speak. She wiped the rain from her face and looked around the room. The hospital was big and clean, but Sarah felt small and lost. She thought, "What will happen now? Who will help us?" Later, the head doctor called Sarah to a quiet room. His face was serious but kind. "Miss Sarah," he said, "we want to help your baby, but first you must tell us everything. Who is the father of this baby?" Sarah's heart stopped. She looked down, feeling ashamed. "I don't know," she said softly. "I am alone. I don't have anyone." The doctor nodded slowly. "We will do our best to save the baby, but you must be strong." Sarah took a deep breath. She was scared but determined. "I will do anything," she said. That night, Sarah stayed in the hospital room beside her baby. The rain outside slowly stopped and the sky began to clear. Sarah held the baby's tiny hand in hers. She looked at his face, the same face that shocked the doctors. Her mind was full of questions, but one thing was clear. She would never give up, no matter what. The next morning, the hospital was busy with doctors and nurses moving around. Sarah sat quietly on a small chair near the baby's bed. The baby's eyes were closed and his breathing was slow but steady. Sarah's mind was full of worries. Who was the father of her baby? Why did the doctors react strangely when they saw him? And most of all, what would happen next? A kind nurse named Mary came to Sarah. She smiled gently and said, "Sarah, we want to help you, but you need to tell us about your life. Maybe it will help us understand the baby better." Sarah nodded, feeling safe with Mary. She began to tell her story. Sarah grew up in a small village far from the city. Her family was poor and life was hard. When she was young, her parents died in an accident and she was left alone. Without family, Sarah moved to the city to find work. She worked as a cleaner and sometimes begged for food. Life was never easy, but Sarah never lost hope. One day, Sarah met a man named Adam. He was kind and different from others. They became friends and Sarah felt happy for the first time in years. But one night everything changed. Sarah remembered the cold wind and dark streets. She was alone and scared. That night she found out she was pregnant. She tried to find Adam, but he was gone. No one knew where he was. Sarah was afraid and confused. She had the baby alone in a small room with no help. Mary listened carefully. "Sarah, you are very brave," she said, "and your baby is lucky to have you." Sarah smiled weakly but looked away. "I don't know why the doctors were so shocked when they saw my baby," she said softly. "Is there something special about him?" Mary looked at Sarah and said, "There might be. Some people here think the baby looks like someone important." Sarah's eyes widened. "Important? Who?" Mary shook her head. "I can't say more now, but we will find out soon." Later that day, Sarah saw Adam visiting the hospital. Her heart beat fast. She wanted to ask him many questions, but was afraid. Adam looked at the baby and then at Sarah. His face showed surprise and pain. Sarah waited for him to speak. Adam finally said, "Sarah, there is something you must know about this baby." Sarah looked at him, her hands trembling. Adam took a deep breath. "The baby is not just any child. He has a family history that is very dangerous." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "What do you mean?" Adam said, "There are people who want to hurt your baby because of who he is." Sarah's mind raced. She did not understand everything, but one thing was clear. Her baby was in danger. She looked at the baby's small face and promised silently, "I will protect you no matter what." That night, Sarah could not sleep. She held her baby close and thought about the future. She knew she needed help, but who could she trust? The secret about her baby's past was bigger than she imagined, and it was only the beginning. The hospital was quiet in the early morning light. Sarah sat beside the baby's bed, her eyes tired but full of worry. She had spent the night watching over her child, praying for his health to improve. Suddenly, the hospital doors opened, and a man walked in. His name was Adam. He was tall, dressed in a clean suit, and carried himself with confidence. But his eyes showed something more, pain and hope mixed together. Sarah looked at him carefully. She did not know why he had come, but she felt a strange feeling in her heart. Adam walked straight to the baby's room. He looked at the tiny child lying on the bed, and then turned to Sarah. "I am here to help," Adam said quietly. Sarah blinked. "Help? Why? Who are you?" Adam hesitated for a moment, then said, "I know things you don't about the baby, about your past." Sarah's heart beat faster. "What do you mean? Tell me." Adam took a deep breath and sat down beside her. "I come from a rich family," he began, "and this baby, he is very important to us." Sarah stared in disbelief. "Important? How?" Adam looked down at the baby and said, This baby is connected to my family. His father is someone you know or someone close to us. Sarah shook her head, confused. I don't understand, Adam continued. There are people who want to harm this baby because of who he is. That's why you need protection. Sarah felt fear mixed with hope. She wanted to trust Adam, but she also wanted answers. As Adam spoke, Sarah remembered meeting him once before, a kind man who helped her when she was in trouble. Could he really be connected to this baby? Adam looked at Sarah and said, I want to keep you and the baby safe. I can give you shelter, food, and doctors. Sarah hesitated. Why would you do that for me? I am just a poor girl. Adam smiled. Softly. Because this is not just about money or power, it's about family. And right now, you and the baby are part of that family. Sarah felt tears welling up. For the first time in a long time, she felt hope. But deep inside, she still had questions. Who was the baby's father? Why was the baby so important? And who were the enemies that Adam mentioned? Adam stood up and said, I will explain everything soon. But first, you must come with me. It's not safe here. Sarah looked at the baby sleeping peacefully and then nodded. Adam took Sarah and the baby to a safe house far from the hospital. It was a small, cozy place with soft beds and warm food. Sarah felt strange but grateful. For the first time, she did not feel alone. That night, Adam told Sarah more about his family's past. He explained how the baby was connected to powerful people and why danger followed them. Sarah listened carefully, feeling both scared and strong. As the days passed, Sarah and Adam grew closer. They shared stories, fears, and hopes. Sarah began to trust Adam. She saw kindness in his eyes and felt a quiet strength she had never known before. But the danger was still there, lurking in the shadows. One evening, as Sarah rocked the baby to sleep, she heard a noise outside. Her heart jumped. Adam came to her side and whispered, We must be careful, they are watching. Sarah hugged the baby tightly. I will protect him no matter what. Adam nodded. Together, we can face anything. The story of a poor girl, a fragile baby, and a stranger with secrets had only just begun. The path ahead was full of mystery, danger, and hope, and Sarah was ready to face it all. The safe house was quiet in the early morning light. Sarah woke up slowly, still holding her baby close. The small room was simple but warm. A small comfort after so many hard days. Adam was already awake, sitting at the table with a serious look on his face. He motioned for Sarah to come over. Sarah, it's time you know the full truth, he said, gently. Sarah's heart beat fast. She took a deep breath and sat down beside him. Adam began to tell the story. Many years ago, my family made enemies, powerful people who wanted to take everything from us. Sarah listened carefully as Adam explained. The baby you hold, he is part of this family. He is the son of my brother, who disappeared years ago. Sarah's eyes widened in shock. Your brother is the father. Adam nodded slowly. Yes, your baby is very important because he carries the family's future. That is why some people want to harm him. Sarah's mind was spinning. She never expected such a truth. Adam continued. Your brother wanted to protect you and the baby. That is why he disappeared. Sarah felt tears well up. She looked at the baby's small face and whispered, You are more important than I thought. Suddenly, a loud noise outside startled them. Someone was at the door. Adam stood quickly. They have found us. Sarah's heart raced. She grabbed the baby tightly. Who are they? She asked, scared. They are the enemies, Adam said. People who want to take the baby and hurt our family. Adam told Sarah to stay calm and be ready. They had to leave quickly. Sarah packed a small bag with what little they had. As they stepped outside, shadows moved in the dark. Strange men with cold eyes were waiting. Adam stood in front of Sarah and the baby, ready to protect them. A tense moment passed. Then one of the men spoke. Give us the baby, and no one will get hurt. Adam's voice was strong. Never. Sarah felt a fierce strength inside her. She held the baby close and whispered, I will fight for you. A struggle began. Adam and the men fought in the dark street. Sarah stayed behind, crying and praying. For safety. The fight was quick but intense. Adam managed to scare the men away for now. Back inside the safe house, Sarah was shaken but alive. Adam looked at her and said, "This is only the beginning. We must be careful." Sarah nodded. "I will. Protect my baby no matter what." That night, Sarah dreamed of the baby's future, a future filled with hope and love. She knew the road ahead was dangerous, but she was ready to fight. With Adam's help, she felt stronger. And the baby, her little miracle, was the light in her dark world. The days after the attack were tense. Sarah and Adam stayed hidden in the safe house, always watching and listening for any signs of danger. Sarah held her baby close every moment. The tiny life depended on her strength and courage. One morning, as Sarah sat by the window, she saw a stranger approaching. The man was tall, wearing a dark coat, and his face was serious but calm. Sarah's heart beat fast. Who was this man? Friend or foe? Adam came to the window and looked outside. He nodded slowly. "We know him." Sarah was surprised. "Who is he?" Adam sighed. "His name is Michael. He used to work with my family. He left long ago, but still wants to help." Sarah felt a mix of hope and doubt. Could Michael be trusted? The stranger knocked on the door. Adam opened it cautiously. Michael stepped inside and looked at Sarah and the baby. "I heard about the attack," Michael said softly. "I want to help protect your family." Sarah looked at him, searching his eyes. There was honesty there, but also something hidden. Michael explained, "I have information about the people chasing you. They are dangerous, but I also know how to stop them." Adam listened carefully, then nodded. "We need every help we can get." Michael shared details about the enemies. They were part of a powerful group who wanted to take control of Adam's family fortune. And the baby was Sarah felt the weight of the danger. The enemies would not stop until they got what they wanted. But now, with Michael's help, they might have a chance. Over the next days, Michael taught Sarah and Adam how to stay safe. He showed them how to use secret codes and find hidden places. Sarah learned quickly. She was stronger than she knew. One night, as she watched her baby sleep, she whispered, "I will protect you, no matter what." Michael became more than an ally. He became a friend. His calm presence gave Sarah hope. But deep inside, Sarah wondered, could she trust him completely? One evening, as they prepared for a possible new attack, Michael warned, "They are planning something big. We must be ready." Adam looked serious. "We will protect the baby at all costs." Sarah nodded. "Together we are stronger." The night was dark and full of secrets. Sarah held her baby tight, ready to face whatever came next. Her life had changed forever, but one thing was certain. She would never give up. The days passed slowly in the safe house. Sarah felt a mix of hope and fear. She knew the enemies were still out there, waiting for the right moment. Each night, she listened carefully to every sound. Adam and Michael worked hard to keep them safe. They checked every window and door, looking for any signs of trouble. Sarah's baby grew stronger, but the danger around them grew too. One afternoon, Adam received a phone call. His face grew serious. "We have no time," he said. "They are coming closer." Sarah's heart pounded. She held the baby tightly and looked at Adam. "What do we do now?" she asked. Adam said, "We must move. We can't stay here." Michael packed some bags quickly. "I know a safe place," he said, "far away from here." Sarah felt scared but knew they had no choice. That night, under the cover of darkness, they left the safe house. Sarah held the baby close as they traveled by. Car through empty roads. The new place was a small cottage in the countryside, surrounded by trees and silence. Sarah felt a little relief. The fresh air and quiet were a comfort, but deep inside she knew the danger was not gone. The next morning, Adam went into town to get supplies. Sarah stayed at the cottage, watching the baby sleep. Suddenly, she heard a noise outside. She looked out the window and saw a man standing near the trees. Her heart stopped. The man looked around nervously and then walked closer to the cottage. Sarah was frozen with fear. She whispered to the baby, "Stay quiet, little one." The man knocked softly on the door. Sarah took a deep breath and opened it just a little. The man spoke in a low voice. "I'm not here to hurt you. I want to help." Sarah looked at him carefully. "Who are you?" she asked. "My name is David," he said. "I was sent to protect you." Sarah was confused. Could she trust this new stranger? David explained, "I know the people chasing you. They have spies everywhere." Sarah's eyes widened. David continued, "You need to be careful. They are planning to take the baby soon." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She looked at her baby and whispered, "I will protect you, always." David promised, "I will stay with you and keep you safe." Days went by, and Sarah learned to trust David. He helped with small tasks and watched the house carefully. But Sarah knew the danger was still very close. One night, Sarah woke to a loud noise outside. She saw shadows moving near the trees. David grabbed his phone and called for help. The enemies had found them. But this time, Sarah was ready. With David and Adam by her side, she knew they would fight to protect the baby. The story was reaching its most dangerous point. Sarah's courage was being tested, like never before, and the baby's future was still unknown. The night was dark and full of tension. Sarah held her baby tightly, feeling the small heartbeat against her chest. She was tired but determined. Adam, Michael, and David stood near the door, ready for whatever would come. The enemies were close. Sarah could feel it. Suddenly, the front door burst open. Shadows moved quickly into the room. Sarah's heart raced, but she stayed calm. She whispered to her baby, "Stay strong, my love." The fight began. Adam, Michael, and David stood between Sarah and the intruders. They fought fiercely, refusing to let anyone near the baby. Sarah watched in fear, but also in hope. The battle was long and hard. But in the end, the enemies were pushed back. The safe house was quiet again. Sarah looked at her protectors, feeling grateful. "We did it," Adam said quietly. Sarah smiled weakly. "Yes, but the fight is not over." The next day, a strange car arrived. Out stepped a woman with kind eyes. She introduced herself as Emma. "I have come to help," she said. "I know the truth about the baby and your family." Sarah listened carefully as Emma explained. Emma revealed that she was a lawyer who had worked with Adam's family for years. She had important papers and information that could protect the baby legally. Sarah felt a wave of relief. Finally, there was hope for a peaceful future. Emma promised to fight for their safety in court and in the world. Sarah felt tears in her eyes. For the first time, she believed that her baby could have a safe life. Days passed and the danger slowly faded. Sarah watched her baby grow stronger every day. Adam, Michael, David, and Emma worked together to protect them. One evening, Sarah stood outside, holding her baby and looking at the stars. She whispered, "This is just the beginning. We will be safe now. We will have a future." The story of a poor girl and her baby had turned into a story of hope and new life. Sarah knew the road. Ahead might still be hard, but she was ready. With love, courage, and friends by her side, she was ready for a new beginning.